Good evening, my dear masters and friends. So I welcome you all for 20 days wisdom sharing sessions conducted by PSSM USA Atlanta team. I'm Divya from part of the same team. So today we have Madhu Soni Garu from Chicago, USA. She has been staying here for past 18 years. She's a meditation teacher, guide, certified oracle card reader, psychic and intuitive. She's also an angel therapist, spiritual counselor, content creator, and blogger. She has created Light and Soul Meditation Group in 2021, and she has also worked in multiple sectors like insurance, marketing, and also she has worked as an in IT field. So I welcome you, Madhu Soni Garu. She's here to share wisdom on Brahma Viharas today. Yeah, please go ahead, Madhu Soni.
Thank you so much, Divyaji. Thank you to Pushpaji and thank you to Atlanta team. So today we will be talking about Brahma Viharas, masters. And as we are nearing to the date of Buddha Purnima, we are celebrating this Buddha Purnima in the ways of how Buddha would like to help everyone awaken, enlightened, and be at peace with oneself. So today, as we are, as I'm going to speak about Brahma Viharas, would like to know, would like to tell you all that, it's really, we are blessed to have this platform where we are able to have the soul wisdom, as well as we have our great grandmaster Pitamaha Brahma Rishi Patriji from PSSM, who actually was the founder of Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement. And through him, we came to know about Anapanasati meditation. He is he has learned, by himself. He had gone to lot many ashrams, lot many societies, and then he created this wonderful platform called Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement. And through this, we are, we learned about the Buddha's way to get enlightened, to become awakened, and also understanding what is Buddhahood, basically, what it means to become a Buddha, to be the enlightened one. So, masters, as you can see his picture here on the it's on it's on the left hand corner of my side. So anyhow, as you all know, today the topic that I chose is Brahma Viharas. So Brahma Viharas, as you understand, the Brahma meaning the I am that part. Basically, I'm the part of the universe. I am becoming one with everything. So when you go into the spiritual meaning of Brahma, it means I am that. I am everywhere. I'm the one, and it is me who creates my reality. So, but not going into that, we today have chosen this topic, Brahma Viharas, and it is also it is a Sanskrit term, and which means the goodness. It's it's a virtue that everyone should have. And also, as we know about this, it is also the goodness that everyone should, that everyone has, the form of light, the form of goodness that everyone goes through, one feels, So, but as we go into Brahma Viharas, or as we understand this Brahma Viharas, there are a lot many challenges. The human being, or the mind that has been conditioned to society, to different cultures, to religion, and so many other things, we go into so many challenges. We go into so many mind struggles, thought process, and that is the basis of our dukkha. That is the basis of the sorrow, or it is kind of an impediment which actually does not let us go forward in our lives. So this is where, masters, we are going to learn about the Brahma Viharas. It is also the very important virtue where everyone aspires to be having these Brahma Viharas. Let me share the slide as we note this. 1 second here. 1 second, masters. I have prepared a slide for everyone so that everyone can have a little understanding of this. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but still would like everyone to, go through these very beautiful Brahma Viharas. We can also say that these are also it is a form of a roar of a lion. It's a divine abode where we all want to reside, where we all want to live. So these Brahma Viharas or goodness, as you say, or the four immeasurable. So these cannot be measured because everyone needs that. And not only needs, it's kind of a need. People do want it, but the point is it's a need for everyone. And that is why you cannot measure it. It's immeasurable. So not only that, so these are the four immeasurables. As we can see, the loving kindness, that is the metta, and compassion is the karuna, sympathetic joy is the mudita, and equanimity is the upekha. So we, as a human being, as an individual, we all need these four important um, very like it cannot be measured, but we need this goodness in our lives, and we are built with this goodness. We all are built with this goodness in the form of light, in the form of love, in the form of compassion. And this is when you also talk about these are also the heart sutras. Also it can be noted that these are also the four very important points that are associated with the noble truths also. But these are one wants to connect with these four immeasurable points, the goodness that we have within us when we feel compassionate towards someone, where we understand the plight of someone, or we are understanding everything. We give sympathy, we understand, and we want to help them, but with that eye of equanimity where there is no upeksha. Here the word that Buddha or the Buddhism culture uses is upekha. Upekha meaning you're not doing any upeksha to anyone. You're giving impartial time, energy, space to everyone. But the point is that a very important virtue. Yes, this is a very important virtue. We all aspire to have this virtue in us, and not only in us but in others also, masters. So here the goodness that we all have is known as the Brahma Viharas, and these are some of the qualities. It is also very important. It's kind of an emotional intelligence that everyone should have to understand other people's emotion, to understand oneself's emotion. So see, when we look at others, we want certain things to happen for us. Why? Because emotionally, that is we all need this emotion. We all have this emotion, and until we get the satisfaction where we are fulfilled with these emotions, we won't be happy. So that is also another form where we feel that we are in the form of dukkha. We are in a state of sorrow. And that is also another very important point that we all need to understand, that these are some of the truths that a person or a human being goes through in their lives. And that is the four noble truths. So before I go ahead and, explain more into the loving kindness and compassion, sympathetic joy, or equanimity, let us also go into what are the four noble truths. But before that, as you all know, most of the time we actually go through so many challenges, and we are into this obsessive preoccupation of that this is me, this is I, and this is mine. So when you say that, we are actually self-occupied into so many things. And when you do that, you are basically coming from a place of lack. And when you see that, you are basically also feeling that you are suffering. Basically, you have this cause happening into your life, that you are suffering from something, you are coming from a place of lack, as if you are coming from a empty space, and you are in that obsessive preoccupation where your mind is continuously occupied into that state, where you are understanding that this is me, mine, and I want to do this, do that, or I'm not getting this or that. The point is, we are actually, again, when we are in the state, we are, um, expending our energy. Our energy is going out in different directions where it is not required. So when you save this energy, when you are not giving into this kind of preoccupation, or when you are not giving into this preoccupied mind state, you have more energy to understand not only this loving kindness for yourself and others, but also you get into the state of karuna. You understand, you have more compassion towards everyone, and you rejoice in the state where you are actually enjoying not only for yourself but also for others. So you have a sense where you are no longer protecting your this preoccupied mind, but you are actually enjoying with others, as well as you yourself are also enjoying. So you are in the state of impartiality. When people or anybody, they think about themselves only, they are actually becoming more selfish. They only think about that, they want to go ahead and do certain things for themselves only, right? So that is why, once you start letting go of that partial nature, what happens? You are basically going to confront any situation without any partiality, without any sorrow, without any preoccupation of your mind, or disturbed mind, right? So your mind will also be at peace, at ease. So, anyhow, let us first talk about this, the Four Noble Truths. And then we are going to go into different other things where we will understand what it means. Why does it hurt us so much when we don't get this four Brahma Viharas? So one can go into Brahma Viharas understanding that I am with the divine, I am with this, I am in this divine abode. So my divine abode is where I am becoming one with everything. But the truth is, of the dukkha is that, all beings experience suffering. We all go under suffering. We all have certain issues, challenges. And when we understand that, we when we are we know that we are actually diagnosing the situation, we are diagnosing the issue, the challenge. So this is the diagnosis of the human condition, that everyone goes under suffering. Everyone has to go under suffering. And when you go under suffering, that is the first noble truth. And then the second, what is the cause of that suffering? Why do you suffer? What is the cause? What is that you crave? And what is that you haven't got, that you are actually, this is your fundamental, the basic, point where you are ignorant about something, and you go into this condition where you are feeling suffering, the cause of the suffering. You understand the cause of the suffering, you go into one own self, you think about it, and you start understanding that the cause that is happening is because of this truth, that you were craving something, and you are, that was your fundamental need, but you are not getting that. And so basically you are into this illusion. You don't know that, right? So once you start knowing, basically you start you understand the cause for the condition. You understand that this is coming from that you are looking outside in the outside world, and you crave something. Now, the third point is the third noble truth is the cure. Basically, the prognosis. When you talk about the prognosis, the cure, the nirodha. So whenever there is a disease, we want to cure this. We want to become healthy, not sick, right? So when you get into the state, the prognosis is that you are basically you stop that dukkha, you stop that the dukkha or the sorrow becomes stopped. Why? Because of that craving. When you understand the root cause of that sorrow, you understand that because I was craving something, because I needed something, now I don't need that anymore. The sorrow is there not anymore. You accept that, right? You accepting. So the cause of that suffering is that you now basically you were craving something, and now you are not craving that anymore. So now you found the healing. the healing that came with it. So now the sorrow that you were feeling, or the depression or the sadness that you are feeling, or the sickness that you are feeling, you found a cure. You found that Nirodha. So now, and the fourth noble truth is the path, the magga. Basically, it's not the magga, but it's like the marg. The marg that you are going on to is the path towards enlightenment, the path of the eightfold path. The noble eightfold paths are, we are going to discuss about that also. I think in the groups, Pushpaji told me about that. Yes, Sai Kumar sir had very easy, like very nicely spoke about this eightfold path. So Buddha has given this eightfold path. So the method we must follow to end the sorrow is that of the noble eightfold path. So again, let us go into the eightfold path. But here, the Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama, that is the as you can see the picture in the slide, his name is Tenzin Gyatso. Okay, so he's the 14th incarnation, and he's the 14th Dalai Lama. He described himself as a simple Buddhist monk. You can see his picture when, the childhood picture. So he is also a spiritual leader in Tibet, and he was born on 6th July 1935 to a farming family, where in a small hamlet located in Taktasar, Amdo, which is in the northeastern Tibet, right? So he is also the 14th incarnation, the 14th Dalai Lama, very spiritual master, teacher, Buddhist monk. So he actually gave this wonderful wisdom. In this, he actually told about, in 1937, he actually is a 2.5-year-old boy, and on this, there was a movie also that was made on him. It was Kundun, and it was about a very simple family. The boy came from a very simple family in Tibet, and he was just a 2.5-year-old boy, as you could have seen this picture in the slide that I showed you. So, and he later on became a very spiritual, master and a political leader to his people. He asked about the causes of suffering. So he responded when he was asked about the causes of suffering. What are the causes? So he said that he wanted to squeeze the brain, because first, that he understands is that this brain causes much of the suffering because of the incessant thought that we continuously get the thoughts in our mind. Second, he looks for the reason for this in his own life. And sometimes as we are into this suffering, we are not confident anymore. We become depressed, sad, and there is like um, understanding that this mind causes a lot of suffering. But we have the ability to end this suffering. So to look is to have confidence in one's own ability. So when you look into your own suffering, when you go into you want to find the root cause of everything, what happens? You find that you have your own ability to end the suffering, because you only created this reality. Third, he said, finally, I wish arises to find a path to peace. For all beings desire happiness. All wish to find her purer self, their purer selves. So as we find that we have the ability to end the suffering, we actually want happiness. And when we end the suffering, when we get to know the root cause, we become more happy. When we accept and we become more pure, the negativity that was there, that goes away, and you start understanding. So what is that negativity? These are the three poisons, the fires. The fires are greed, hatred, delusion. And when you understand these three, the greed is in the form of craving, desire, and thirst. And the opposite of how you can end this greed, you can end it through generosity, becoming more generous by donating your time, energy, your space, and even your things, according to what you have, whatever means you have. So if you can donate money according to what you have in your life, if you have more money, financial wealth is there, when you work, you gain a lot of financial wealth, that also can be donated. Some people in the Sikhism, they donate they say it's the 10th part of their earning. So they tithe their earning. So the 10th part of their earning. So donating their money. Some people, they can donate with their body, basically donating the help somebody requires. They can donate their, through their physical work, or spreading about Buddhism, or spreading about whatever you're doing, but helping the needy, helping the poor, helping what needs to be done for the upliftment of the community. And that is also understanding that you have to be more generous with your whatever you have, whatever special you have. Suppose a person who can speak well, he can communicate to the community about all the good things that he can do or she can do, or how he can help or she can help, and communicating that to your whole community, your soul tribe, right? So second is greed. Second is hatred. That is the second fire that you go into. So that is another form of poison, which is basically you become avert and you are like totally in that aggressive state because of hatred, because you hate someone. But when you point fingers at someone, don't you think you are pointing three fingers at your own self? And understanding, when you comment about someone, when you gossip about someone, when you say bad things about someone, why it is that? Because you hate a particular quality that they are portraying. But why is that? Because that particular quality is within you, your own self. So sometimes when what you hate about others is what you need to, that is basically mirroring in you. So you need to remove that, uh, that mirroring self, basically, that you don't like about others. You have to remove that weakness, that point from your own life, from your own way of how you do things. So when you hate what you hate about someone, when you become aggressive and you shout and scream about at someone, basically that is why, because you hate someone. So you don't need to be in that aggression state or aggressive state, but what you can do, you can become more loving, more kind, more friendly. You can just give your time, space, and energy. You can share, and you share this wonderful feeling of love. When you start getting into the state of love, when you are in your more, when you say that, it is basically the quality of your heart. The heart carries this feminine quality, where it carries love, compassion, kindness, peace, unity, oneness, and also creativity is also there. But when you have all these qualities, creativity comes naturally, masters. So loving and friendliness also. Metta is basically mitra, it's called mitra, meaning friend. So, and the second one, to the opposite of hatred, is first is loving friendliness, and then second one is becoming more compassionate, becoming sympathetic towards everyone, and understanding that whatever you are feeling, the other is also feeling the same thing. And what you don't like in others, if you get into that state of oneness and unity, you will also feel compassionate towards them, because now you're in the state of oneness. So you won't hate them anymore, and then easily you will be able to rectify this mistake of yours where you are hating someone. So the third fire that you go into is the delusion. So delusion is what? Delusion is nothing but when you don't know something, when you're ignorant about something, or you are making stuff up in your mind. Basically, you're deluding. You are becoming more delusional. You are in that confusion state because you don't know actually what is happening. But how to remove that is through wisdom, through jnana or prajna, and becoming more enlightened. So when we talk about enlightenment, masters, enlightenment is a state where every now and then you become enlightened. Whenever you are in this journey of progression of understanding, you start understanding that whatever you didn't knew earlier, a second ago or 2 seconds ago, or maybe in your past of your present life, now you know something. You somehow came to know about something which you were not able to perform in a good way. You were not able to perfect that lesson, or you didn't knew about certain subject, you didn't knew about certain thing, where you were confused, where that subject you didn't knew about that subject. But now you're not uh, basically now you are not in that illusion anymore. All the confusion has gone away. That knowledge that you wanted, you were seeking, now you got that knowledge. You are not ignorant anymore. Now you're not delusional anymore, because you gained that wisdom, you gained that intellect, you gained that intelligence, or you found that wisdom, that prajna came to you, and you became enlightened. So enlightenment is a state where everyone goes under enlightenment every now and then. So just imagine when I say that today you are of so and so age, but were you of this so and so age in your past also? You, when you were born, after that you learned so many things. So basically you are becoming enlightened every now and then, now at this stage. So from the childhood uh, till now, at a certain age, haven't you learned lessons, or haven't you perfected certain lessons? You came from kindergarten to basically you became you were a child, then you went into, you were an infant, toddler, then you went into teenager self, then you went into adult self, and now you are into, your old self or mature self. So the soul goes under so many soul stages, progression. So you are not the same. So not only soul, but even the human being that we are in this lifetime. As spiritual self, definitely we have gone into this human experience of this human being life. And now, every now and then, we are becoming more and more enlightened. So there are five aggregates basically that can help you to understand these three fires. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we smell, whatever we touch, and whatever we are hearing, the point is it's all matter body, the physical self. So the physical self is associated with the pranamaya sharir, and sorry, not the pranamaya, the the physical body is associated with your annamaya kosh basically. Sorry about that, earlier I said pranamaya, but it's not pranamaya. But yes, pranamaya is also another spiritual body where we are also, that is your energy body. But when you talk about the feeling part, the emotion part, which is also associated with your astral body, the astral self, the feelings, the emotions, when we talk about emotions, that is the, we want to feel pleasant sometimes, that these are the feelings that can also help us to understand how the other person is feeling, feeling unpleasant, not good thought, not good vibrations. Why do we catch these vibrations? Because we also are all made up of all these feelings of good, pleasant, or not pleasant, or not so good, and also becoming neutral. So these are also some of the points that come into the five aggregates. Perception: what do you see? How do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? What do you feeling in your throat, your gut instinct, right? Even your hand, what are you, how does your body feel? So these are also the ways where you actually go into perceiving things in your own way. Your body tells you, and when your body tells you, with through your senses, through your extra sensory perceptions also, and then also through your emotions, you actually start perceiving things. Sometimes these perceiving things can also be it can create mental formations. You can create your own assumptions, your own views, and then that can actually trigger a response, or trigger your understanding, whatever you understood through these perceptions. So you perceive a certain situation in a certain way because you were made that way, because you understood something because of short knowledge or a limited knowledge. So your ego can also be affected because of this, basically. And then you start perceiving things in a different way because of so and so matter, feelings, perceptions, mental formations can happen. You start creating those reality. You start assuming that this might have happened and that's why this happened. And so your response also becomes triggered. So that is the cause of your, the truth of dukkha is the first part. That is the dukkha. The truth of dukkha is also why your life, in your life, you become, you are suffering. So here the dukkha, in when you break this word dukkha, it is du meaning bad and ka meaning we. So this cycle of negative cycle continuously goes on, because this is the you are, what you are feeling is, you are feeling the suffering. Your life, in your life, you are suffering. And that is the reason that when you have this feeling is portrayed. Your heart basically start sending these vibrations outside and you suffer. And when you suffer, you actually go on this continuous cycle of dukkha. And this is the reason why you suffer. So Buddha, speaking out the Four Noble Truths and the importance of mindfulness, he says that this is the direct path for the purification of beings. When you go into the Four Noble Truths, so this can actually help us to purify our own self, which helps us purification of beings, for surrounding of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, and for the attainment of the true way, for the realization of nirvana. So when you understand that you are the only cause of this issue, challenge, suffering, you go into this self-realized state, you become enlightened, and you go into nirvana, you liberate yourself, right? Second noble truth is the thirst for sensual pleasure, thirst for existence, and thirst for non-existence. So what is the pain? The second truth is why? Because you are craving certain things. You're craving maybe sensual pleasures or sexuality, something, or you want to exist and you want to reach some place and you are not able to exist at that place, that you had this craving. And the third is maybe you don't exist. You feel that you are not anywhere. You don't have a name, fame, something, identity. And that is why these are the second noble truth, that this is the truth of the cause of dukkha. The source, that is, the source is of desire, and that actually clouds our judgment. So this is also being told in Lotus Sutra 5, that teaching of the dukkha is like a great cloud, which with a single kind of rain waters all human flowers so that each bear its fruit. So whatever you are thinking, that is going to bear the fruit. If you are thinking good, it will actually have good result. In the form of good fruits, you will bear good fruits. But if your thinking is negative, if you realize that something that you were thinking had cloud your judgment, and what kind of fruit you will be bearing? You will be bearing negative fruit because of negative thinking. But if you have a good thinking, you think good of everyone, you start thinking good of your own self and others, you start working towards the, believing that, you are one with the divine, you are that Brahma, you are, I am that. So when you get into this, that is the basically the Lotus Sutra 5, that your heart is in the form of this, in this state of oneness, in the state of love, kindness, compassion, peace, oneness, in this unity consciousness, where whatever you think, if you think good, that will bear a good fruit, and that will actually help you. It will help not only you, but also the community. So the third noble truth, very quickly we'll go through this, is also the truth of the cessation of dukkha, stopping that dukkha. What is the cause of that dukkha and how to stop that dukkha? How to stop the sorrow? So the truth, this is the truth of cessation of suffering, nirodha, basically where you actually heal yourself, where you stop the, you understand what is the root cause of that dukkha. Basically, you were craving something, and that actually is, for because of that you were withdrawing from it. You renounced and you also rejected. So when you reject all these things, the understanding why you were going into sorrow, why you were suffering, when you withdraw from all these things, when you understand and you withdraw from all these things, basically you get into the state of non-attachment. And that is the state where you start liberating yourself. You become mukta, or you go into that state of nirvana. And that is where basically you start cooling down. You start, like, as we breathe in, we feel blissful. But when we blow out our breath, what happens? You start releasing, right? So blowing out of the dense, heavy energy in the form of kleshas, in the form of greed, hatred, or delusion, or, becoming attached to certain situations, or obsessing. So that is the, understanding that when you understand the root cause of that suffering, and when you release that attachment, you become, you liberate yourself. You liberate yourself. You go into nirvana, and this is where you actually understand that, this is the prognosis. Basically, suffering can be stopped, and when you approach it with a, with your intellect, with your intelligence, with your understanding that you have attained that knowledge. Now nobody is stopping you, and nobody is basically putting you in that suffering, because uh, you were the only cause that because of your own thinking you were suffering, right? So now, instead of that desiring things or people, situation, or anything else, you are letting go of all those desirous situations, people, and renouncing all of this. So how you do that? You go into meditation, you take a moment, you go into silence, you understand, you go into that point where you understand that I am actually the reason why this is happening with me. So in this next slide, basically, um, uh, next part, Nirvana, according to the Buddhist scholar Todd Lewis, is eternal, tranquil, very blissful, very peaceful, very pure. It is deathless. There is the basically the life goes on. So the soul life goes on, or where you are one with everything, and you understand that, and that is the permanent reality that we have to understand, which goes on in the cosmos. Nagarjuna is the second century philosopher and the second most influential person in history of Buddhism after Buddha. He adds that to this nirvana, he adds that to this divisional mystic of nirvana, when he said there is not the nearest difference between samsara and nirvana. So there is no near meaning that nirvana is beyond all conditions, beyond all categories, and cannot be grasped by conceptual mind. So if you have a concept in your mind, definitely nirvana is not like that. Nirvana is beyond all conditions. There is no condition attached to nirvana. So it goes beyond intellect, and it should be experienced by your own self to be understood. So this is where the third noble truth comes in, masters. So it also, there are 7 factors for awakening. You have to be mindful, you have to be you have to, in that discernment state, where you start understanding things and discerning things, where you are persisting, that you have to be in that awakened state where you are, you know, understanding, you are in that rapture state, and also serenity, concentration, equanimity. So, concentrating on what is the dukkha, becoming, feeling more serene with your oneself, understanding, and also through advanced meditation, you can actually get this opportunity to burn your past karmas, and whatever mind has been conditioned to, you can actually get out of all those conditional things in your mind or thoughts, and then you can finally, whatever is accumulated in your mind, it turns into a knot. So as you start understanding subjects, you start opening those knots, and you go into, you free yourself, you burn those karmas, and you start deconditioning yourself, and you become more near to awakening, you become enlightened, and you start realizing yourself, basically understanding your own self. So this ultimate realization is known as Samyak Sambodhi, and which is also the perfect and complete enlightenment. You start understanding about the root cause of suffering, about your own self. You start discerning about things where you need to give energy or where you don't need to give energy, and what you need to persist with, where you don't need to, and what has come to an end, and where you have to start your journey, leaving attachment. Then language begins to fail in its ability to capture this experience. So sometimes we cannot say what is happening. That blissful feeling, the paramananda feeling, you cannot explain it. It's like the it's the sweet that you cannot say the what is the uh, measurement for that sweetness. Can it be measured with the jaggery, or can you measure it with sugar, or can you measure it with castor sugar, or is it measured with sugar cane, the sweetness, or is it the sweetness of honey? So what is it? That bliss cannot be measured. So for that you have to sit and experience. And this is the four noble truth. So with this four noble truth, we also understand that through wisdom and insight, that is the right view, right resolve, we go into a lot of intellectual understanding. We have this insight because of the prajna. And then second is the morality, the sila, where you go into the right speech, right action, right livelihood. Sometimes we don't act nicely. We don't go into this, speech also. We speak negative about someone. We act in a negative way. But when you understand these four noble truths, that you are only the cause of all these suffering, and then you understand through your prajna that you have to be in your, you have to, be a very, your values and your nature should be, you should carry on with the moral lessons, and you are being taught certain things. You have to, speak in a right way. You have to act in a right way. You have to earn livelihood through right means. Even the third one, the meditation and the samadhi, can be achieved with right effort when you are determined, disciplined, when you go into becoming more mindful, becoming more aware, when you concentrate rightly, right? So Buddhism basically is a religion rather than a belief, and you have to practice this. Basically, this religion has to be practiced in a right way, in the right view, in the right resolve, right speech way, right action. So that is what Buddha, these noble eightfold path of Buddha helps us to understand that we are the only part where we are going into a lot of sorrows, sufferings because of our own thinking. But when we correct these, we can actually, uh, you know, help ourselves. So that is the four noble truths, masters. I won't go into the noble eightfold path. I think it has been taken by someone. So, but it's very important to know. So these are the two that can, the path to truth, the path that can take us to enlightenment. So the healing that can come through this is that the healing dharma found through meditation, not philosophical speculation. So the 5th century teacher Buddha Ghosha calls morality and meditation the two legs upon which the wisdom leading to liberation stands. Okay, masters. So, and there are other things that can destroy your life towards your, what are the hindrances? Doubt, desire, ill will, restlessness and compassion, sloth and torpor. But the 5 percepts that can help us to ethical living is to not destroy anybody's life, to not steal, to do not lie, and do not commit any sexual misconduct, do not become intoxicated, and use of right words. So now when we understand these four noble truths, and we understand that these Brahma Viharas can only be achieved when you let go of your thinking, when you let go of understanding the four noble truths, that these were the things that were making me in the state, putting me in the state of sorrow. So the first one is the loving kindness, mitta, becoming your own friend. And when you become your own friend, when you understand that you also need a sense of safety and peace and well-being, you need that freedom, you enter the state of loving kindness for your own self. And what is the enemy of the near enemy is selfishness, becoming selfish. The far enemy is enmity. So when you become more far, you become basically, um, when you say that you are, you create an aversion to goodness. So there is 360-degree awareness, uh, or 360-degree of aversion. You actually move away 360-degree away from your good self. That is the far enemy. That is the enmity, envying someone. But when you get into this compassion state, becoming, that ability to see suffering without any fear, without fear, basically. So becoming empathic, becoming open, and giving space to your own self, to others, and be in that still state where you understand. So what do you understand? You get into that state of courage, and you get into that state of present state where you are willing to hold this into your heart, where you are actually caring about someone with non-judgmental care, uh, about your own self, about others. So you get into the state of compassion. So the near enemy is where you are, basically 180 degree, you moved away from your goodness, is you go into pity or sympathy. When you sympathize with someone, but you don't understand. But when you become, uh, you know 360-degree away from your goodness, it is you have become cruel. You don't understand anybody's pain and you want to afflict pain. So you are in that cruelty state. Sympathetic joy, mudita, basically letting go of judgment and comparison, and you rejoice, you enjoy, you appreciate not only yourself but others also. You understand that appreciating others' success and happiness is also very important for not only them but also for you. So when you talk about, when you say something bad to someone, the water that is connected with emotion, the sacral chakra or the moon energy, that shadow aspect, your moon energy, your water or the fluid inside you also basically hears everything, whatever you say to the other. If you say something bad, negative, gossip, lying, deceit, whatever you do to someone else, your fluids inside your body also hears. So when you become happy and when you share the happiness with others, also become happy. So you also start getting this healing energy in your body. So this is an antidote. So sympathetic joy, it is an antidote to jealousy, envy, craving, and resentment. So this is basically the far, when you become, away, 360-degree away from your true quality. That is when you become jealous, when you envy someone, when you crave, certain thing, desire, and when you resent someone. So basically that actually will keep you away from this joy. Then the near enemy basically is when you brood, when you avoid sentimentally, and when you ignore becoming optimist. So that actually can also take you away from from sympathetic joy. So sometimes when you become more excited, when you become, you are in that exuberant state, that is your mind. You become more attached to something. So then you go into this away from it, right? So this is a near enemy to sympathetic joy. When you talk about the fourth point, that is equanimity, that is upeksha or upekha. So equanimity is basically, in Hindi we say sambhav. So when you talk about this, it is basically keeping a calm state of mind, even in the times of stress, even in the times of excitement. So becoming more peaceful, not becoming more excited or depressed. Equanimity is basically calm, and it is a tranquil state of mind. Even the most challenging ones, during those times also, you have to be in that equanimity state. So, and now when you talk about equanimity, the near enemy is basically indifference. It is not just dissociating from unpleasantness that gets you there. It is also clear seeing, basically seeing clearly, right? So becoming not partial and behaving impartially, not behaving partially, okay? That giving something good to someone, to your own known people, and then not giving something or something good to others because you don't know them. So basically telling that you have to become impartial. And then when you become far away from your goodness or of equanimity, when you crave or when you obsess about someone and you cling to someone or cling to certain things or you attach yourself to certain, that actually is the far enemy, masters. So these are the Brahma Viharas, the four immeasurable, the goodness that everyone has and everyone needs this, everyone requires. Why they require? Because this is a need, masters. And not only that, but we need to understand that we are all one with the divine. We are, I am that. When you are in that state, you understand that I am that, and this is very important. So that you are one with everything, not only you, but I am Divya ji, I am Pushpa ji, I am Geeta ji, and so many people here who are present. So whoever you are me and I am you. When you are in that state, you understand that not only they require, but I also require the same thing, or whatever I require, the other also require the same thing. So today we understood what is Brahma Viharas, but understanding that the cause of suffering is because of our own self. So when you get out of that state, you understand that you are in that I am that state. So thank you so much, masters. Thank you, Divya ji. Thank you, Atlanta team. Thank you, Pushpa ji.
Wonderful knowledge, Madhu Garu.
Thank you.
I mean, like you nicely explained, like how we can, you know, how we can get rid of dukkha, like just by following simple steps. It was so wonderful. Just one thing that I have is like, can you suggest few books related to this? What you have
Yes,
shared, so that
one book I think that I had shared this is let me get back to the this book is second, the name of the book is the yes, Normal Discourses of the Buddha. Let me also copy that if you
okay, sure, yeah,
I think I can share it in the chat here. Or you want me to, how about I share it in the screen? That will be good, right?
yeah, sure.
So this is the book that I somehow, it is a very small part, but the numerical discourses of Buddha, a translation of the Anguttara Nikaya. So there are a lot of rules that the Buddhists follow, and there are a lot of teachings also. So one of the book that I followed is the teachings of the Buddha. And then the second one is Buddhism, a book on Buddhism and this is, yeah, this book that I'm showing it to everyone. Can everyone see it?
Yeah,
Were you able
I
to see
hope
it?
it.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, so then that one was from Bhikkhu, one second. Yeah, it is. This one was from Bhikkhu Bodhi. And the other one that I followed is from Buddhism 101 by Arni Kozak. So this is the book, Masters. You can see this, this is also one of the book that has short and sweet, things that you can get it by Arni Kozak. And it's wonderful. Um, so and one more important point that I wanted to share before we go into meditation, masters, is there was a Buddhist author of 25 books. Her name is Ayya Khema. Ayya Khema, she became a Buddhist nun. She was ordained a Buddhist nun in Sri Lanka in 1979. Okay. And she was given the name Khema, which means safety. In 1987, she coordinated the first international conference of Buddhist nuns in the history of Buddhism, which resulted in the creation of worldwide Buddhist women's organization. So she was the first one who created this organization, first nun, and from there she created this organization called Sakhyadhita in New York in 1987, and she became the first Buddhist ever to address the United Nations, and basically a lady. So Ayya Khema said that she wrote 25 books, masters. She's the author of 25 books. So Ayya Khema, she wrote one of these books called When the Iron Eagle Flies. So she says cessation of suffering, that is the stoppage of suffering, is not due to the fact that suffering stops. It is due to the fact that the one who suffers stops to exist. Basically, stopping and understanding that you don't exist anymore. It is your soul self. The human being, the human self, the human experience is actually feeling that suffering because of your incessant thoughts and the mind that perceives, right? So this is what is very important. But thank you so much, Divyaji.
Thank you,
I took the time.
Madhu Garu.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know we are already running out of the time. So can we do just
Meditation.
a 10 minutes meditation,
Yeah.
or we can take Q&A.
Whatever you say.
Okay.
Anybody? Pushpa ji?
Masters, so anyone has any questions to Madhu Garu? We can go with that.
I don't have any questions, Madhuji, but thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, this is so great information, so
Great,
much of
yeah.
information actually. So put together with lot of, clarity actually. I really like the way you have explained with, so much of detailing. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, This is live
This is
also, so
opportunity.
probably people can go ahead again. And definitely, I want to go ahead and again, I wanted to, go through this information completely to absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pushpaji.
Yeah.
So, if we want, we can go into, quick meditation and finish it
Yeah,
off.
sure.
So how much more minute is left remaining?
No, actually, we can take time, Madhuji. If you have time, we can go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
And then yeah, if anybody have any questions, or guys, if you want to share anything also, yeah, feel free to come forward.
Gratitude, Masters. Gratitude, Patriji sir.
Thank you, Madhu Garu.
Thank you.
This wonderful meditation, and your guidance was awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Divyaji. Thank you, Chitraji.
I think if there are no questions, we can wind up this session, Master. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your wonderful wisdom with us today. Yeah, definitely, I'll go through it again in the YouTube. Yeah, it was very helpful.
Thank you so much.